Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, 7 p.m. My name is Dustin.
Hi, guys. I'm Chandra. This cat is Thor, and Bruce is right over there. You may see him.
You may see an ear.
They're
Once.
kind of butt sniffing. That's a way to start it, Bruce.
That's
Way
the
to
way.
go.
That's the way to get it. That's the way to kick off a live stream.
That
Sniffing
must be.
butts. Woo! Thanks for clicking on the video. I hope that this is exactly what you thought you were getting yourself into this evening.
And if not, you need to rearrange your expectations.
Yes.
Oh.
Woo! Sherry is here.
Thanks for joining us.
From Leavenworth, Kansas.
Nice. Would you please just sit all the way
Isn't
down?
there like a military base there or something?
I have no idea. I don't know anything about Kansas. Except for when we drove through it, it was possibly the most boring 7 years of my life.
Anyway. Is raining very hard here.
It is. It's been raining all flippin' day.
Yes. Sharon is here. Good evening, Sharon.
Thank
here
you
for
for
a bit.
joining us.
Good evening.
There are kitty cats everywhere here.
Jackie's keto journey is here.
Hello, hello. Yes, butt lickers, the lot of them.
I don't know how much they're licking. They're like,
yeah. Right now, I don't know what they're doing. Neither of them have decided that they want to sit. They're just touring my lap and my arm.
They're just like, how can we be the most uncomfortable?
And now Thor's eating my hair. I don't know what's wrong with cats.
Stacy's here.
Hi, Stacy. Thank you for joining us.
How is you doing, Stacy? How's your leg? How's your hip?
Are you back in working order?
She is coming to see us Friday.
Yes, and I don't work Friday, so I will be able to join.
Jackie, I believe, is coming as well.
Nice. Yeah.
Maybe Jen. I don't know for sure. Her and their thing with Charlie and things are. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, I've been picking up most Fridays, but I did not pick up this Friday so that we can hang out. But what day is Memorial Day? Are we near that? Is that still a while away?
That's the day. That's the week that the girl graduates.
Yeah. So I'm off this Friday and next Friday because I work Memorial Day.
So you'll work Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Right. So
okay.
I need to put that in my calendar because it is on there. It's just not the first thing.
She says she picked up a shift at work, so she might come gross from work. That's okay. You're
That's
gross
fine.
from not work.
We'll take you. Gross from work, not gross from work, any of the above.
Mm-hmm. We love you. We love you long time. Shauna is here.
Thank you for joining us. I apologize. I got an offer on eBay.
She's distracted. It's a cool little like a skirt.
Yeah, it's a skirt and it's new with tags, and they offered me less than half of what I have it listed for.
How rude.
I will take that much, and otherwise she can get on somewhere.
She says she is good. She has sprung from PT. Final follow-up with ortho in about 6 weeks.
Nice. Well, I hope it all goes well.
Shauna says, hello, downstairs with a delicious smelling tri-tip in my air fryer.
Oh, I'm hungry today.
I haven't eaten yet today.
He made me an egg and cheese sandwich this morning with the girl. So with the keto bread, that's...
Well, it's like the keto flatbread, thin bread stuff. It's like the slims.
Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, it's probably...
It's questionable keto.
Probably 14, 15 total carbs.
It didn't make me sleepy after eating it, so I assume that it didn't impact my blood sugar too much.
A lot of cheese, a lot of egg. Well, 2 eggs, a whole lot of chease.
Yeah.
It was good and gooey and melty.
It was very good. It had spicy cheese in it, and I like the spice. But I'm very still hungry.
Yeah, I haven't eaten yet. I was trying to get back from the store because I went and I ran errands with my stepdad and took him like 4 or 5 places he wanted to go. And
because his car's not working.
None of his cars are working. He has like 3 cars and none of them work.
None of his cars.
If he would take all 3 cars, he might be able to get
trade
one
them in for one working
car. Yes. So I took him. We went to where did we go? We went to go get minutes on his cell phone. And
he still lives in 1995. It's fine.
Well, I mean, not really, because he does have a flip phone, He did have like one of the phones like this,
smartphone.
but he just could not. It just was not.
It was too much for him.
Yeah.
No. And he's not that old. How old is he again?
He's 67.
Yeah, he's not that old. He should be able to figure out how to work a smartphone, but he doesn't want to.
Well, I mean, he's never been into computers.
Right.
That whole technology stuff just kind of totally passed him by.
Right.
Stacy is very glad that she finally gets to meet you.
I'm glad to meet you too.
We are setting you up for
time.
disappointment.
Yeah, I'm not that special. Like, let's be fair. I'm not that special.
So she's asking, I am finding a craving for egg sandwiches. So yeah, so what I do.
Is there a second part to that? Because there's a comma at
the end. So I thought the lower carb bread would be better than traditional.
Oh,
yeah,
it is supposed to be, but everybody has to kind of gauge their own insulin reactions and whatnot, and how you feel after eating the quasi keto things, because literally anything marketed as keto that isn't meat, eggs, or cheese probably has some crap in it that you probably shouldn't be eating. But a lot of the breads that we've tried that have been labeled as keto, I get I can eat it and I'm fine. And then about 30 minutes later, I have a massive crash where I need to take a nap and I don't feel good. And it's got to be that postprandial hypoglycemia. So essentially it spikes my glucose really high, makes me insulin dump. And then afterward I crash and need a nap because my blood sugar level gets low.
That's why I had to stop eating those Quest cookies. I eat a Quest cookie and down for the count.
Yeah.
Just fall asleep.
So most of those breads will do that to me. The one that you used this morning, I don't remember what it's called.
It is a something berry, something Glenberry.
Like
brown derby, brown berry. It's a keto slim.
And it so far has not given me the same impact. I mean, I haven't had very much of it. I assume if I ate more than one, because it's like a 2-piece thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like their version of a bagel, but not a bagel.
But this one's just like a wheat bread.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a hole in it. We do get the bagel ones, and I've been buying these because the girl is fine with them, and it's a way because, I mean, I end up throwing away half of everything I make for her anyway.
Right.
But I buy them because it's a vehicle for her to eat eggs and cheese.
And it's better for her than giving her actual bread.
Yeah.
But yeah, for those, they haven't really impacted me. But I assume if I ate, 2 or 3 sandwiches that I would probably need a crash.
Yeah.
And there are some things I'm very susceptible to, some things that really hit me hard. Like when we went to get that cauliflower crust pizza.
Have a great night, Sharon. Thank you for being here.
Have a great night. Thanks for joining us. That cauliflower crusty pizza, that was really delicious, but definitely not all cauliflower.
Yeah. We looked it up. There was rice flour and stuff in it. Yeah.
After that, I was like,
it was really good. It did have a good crackery flavor to it too.
It was really good,
yeah.
But I can't have it. It just, I can't do it. So.
Stacy said he's young.
Yes.
He acts like he's 90.
He does. He acts like he's very, very old.
He said he stopped drinking whiskey.
Well, what did he substitute it with?
He's still been drinking beer.
He hasn't stopped drinking.
No, well, he can't. He couldn't just stop drinking.
Yeah.
He's too far gone for that, I believe. But he says, doing the whole 3 or 4 beers a night versus having whiskey and 3 or 4 beers a night.
Well, that's good. It's a mild improvement. Hopefully he can.
I had a Razor phone. I got a Razor phone as soon as they came out. The black one was when they did the whole AT&T thing with the back in black, and I was like, back in black.
I had a pink one.
And then I had a gunmetal gray one later on, and they had updated the hardware and the software inside where it could actually then play MP3s and stuff, and you could get on the internet with it. So that was a much better phone. And then I went and got a BlackBerry after that.
So we're back on water today because on Mother's Day, the kids brought me 2 bottles of Diet Coke. And that's literally all I drank the last 2 days. Well, the last all day Monday and starting Sunday night when we all had dinner together. So back on just water, trying to just Water it up. What does all that say?
She says sometimes they just add fiber to low carb breads to play the net carb game. Yeah, and we try to look for the ones that are the lowest total carbs as well. Yeah. That's why the thins work really well, because they do make the sandwiches easier. Because I put butter in the pan, scramble the egg in the pan, then I sprinkle cheese on top, and then I put the breads on top, and then I flip it over, and then flip the eggs over, and then I need to make a video on that.
Yeah, you do. It just folds into a sandwich real easy.
Yeah.
But and we tried using Egg Life wraps as egg noodles in soup. That's amazing. You guys need to try it. It was really good.
I'm gonna be making a chicken noodle soup version of it and make a video on it.
It was very good and very noodle reminiscent, very egg noodle reminiscent. Obviously, not an egg noodle, but very close.
Let's see. Stacy said that she gets bloat from anything grain or nut flours too. If I eat more than a couple of bites.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just get that overwhelming, and it's overwhelming. I cannot keep my eyes open. I must nap.
Jahil says Timmy made a 36x20 oil painting of you two. It's not safe for work, so I won't describe it, but where should I send it? There's a P.O. box down below. You can send it to our P.O. box if you so choose.
16 or 36x20 is very big.
They'll give me a little key, and then I'll have to get it from behind the counter.
If he's a 5-year-old imaginary child, he really shouldn't be making not safe for work pictures.
Sure.
It sounds like you need to have a conversation.
Let him get after it. I mean, don't censor his creativity.
Not true.
He's imaginary. Let him go hog wild. Because let's face it, he's imaginary. It means it comes from your imagination.
That's true.
And I know
I don't
the
want to
things
know
you've
what's
probably
in there.
seen. Yeah.
I don't want to know what's in your imagination. I'm good.
Jahil's asking Air Fry and Auntie if she's been behaving. No.
Probably not.
Hers was purple.
What was purple?
Her razor.
Oh, I lost.
Or whatever she did that wasn't behaving.
The conversation.
She wasn't behaving, and now it's purple.
That sounds like you may need to get it looked at. Oh.
Charlie says, I've egg white powder bread loaf. He's made egg white powder loaves before. It's versatile food with far less ingredients than store-bought loaves. Trade off those. It takes a lot of time to make.
The bigger problem for us is that with the 5-year-old here all the time, the time is not there.
Of the essence. Yeah, time's always of the essence. Yeah.
I spent an hour and a half playing with Play-Doh today. And obviously, if I'd interrupted that to make bread, we would have had an issue.
I can't even do post because what I do with social media and stuff, and I'm always trying to post things and keep up with social media and stuff, and she gets very upset. And
because you're on your phone, Paul.
I know, and I was supposed to be making her a paper airplane out of some cardstock junk mail, and she got so upset with me. She was very rude that we had to put her in timeout.
Yeah, she is getting a little saucy pants.
Yeah, she is.
She's getting a little hard to handle lately.
Yeah,
we may need to. I don't know.
Trade her in.
Spend more time in timeout.
Yeah, and but back to Charlie, I want to make the egg life. I want to make the egg white powder bread.
Mm.
But it means I have to buy the correct egg powder and all the other things. And then there's the ones that Neely makes where she grates frozen butter and mixes it in. So then there's little flecks of butter throughout the bread, and it bakes up and melts away. Oh yeah. But
even the egg white chaffle recipe that you've done, that's good, and that doesn't have a whole lot in it, and
I could make those and keep them they'll probably last in the fridge about as long as as long as we would need them. Just make 6 days worth or whatever, because you'll have one here and there. Put them in the fridge, just make them in batches like I do anyway. And then they would probably sandwich just the same. And she's not going to know the difference.
Some things we just do as a matter of convenience. It's hard to appease a 5-year-old, and oftentimes it's better.
Fun ladies never behave.
You're not wrong. It's sometimes a lot easier and quicker to just buy something store-bought, because then you have it.
She says, about to be driving home, had to go buy Rowan some shoes, something about holes and soaking socks. Oh, whiner. I mean, It was raining hard today. My feet are wet. My
My
beard is wet. My face. Well, I'm dryish now. I've been wearing more
he
dry
sent
fit
me
stuff.
a picture of him in the car and then comes home and goes, couldn't you tell I was soaking wet? No, you're a bald man. Where am I going to see the water? No, the beard wasn't glistening. It was, well, it's not, it wasn't glistening any more than the rig.
It's true.
I could not tell he was soaking wet. He got a picture of his beard and his bald head.
Sometimes she forgets how handsome I am and then she just gets awestruck.
Is that what happens? I don't think that's what happens.
That's what happens in my bread. Ron is here.
Thanks for joining us, Ron.
And Stacy says, we love the Egg Life wrap noodles, air fried chips with them with avocado oil and salt.
We should try that too.
Yeah.
Make them into chippity chips.
Mm-hmm.
That
I
could
did
work.
get a bag of high-low chips today.
I saw them on the table.
They were on clearance for $2.71. They were closeout. So it wasn't like on just the clearance thing. It was actually in the space with the yellow tag. So
they're never going to have them again.
Well, they're not going to have that flavor again. I'm going to get 2 bags. When I got to the cash register, one bag had a big like split in it.
Oh,
so I didn't buy that one.
No.
The dude looked at me like, why not? And I was like,
because somebody already tore into it and I'm not paying that much for half a bag of chips.
Let's see. Evelyn, my dear, is here.
Thank you for joining us.
I get to see Evelyn on Saturday. Right, Evelyn? You guys are coming? I forget. I hope you guys are coming. Oh, she's bringing her daughters. That's right. She's bringing her daughters to hang out.
Yeah.
Lots of hugs.
Well, I will be at work.
Oh,
that does look good. That looks.
It doesn't look as good secondhand.
It looks a little gray and
it looks a little
in the YouTube.
Yeah. But Shauna sent that to me. It looks delicious.
It does look delicious.
Batch making is the way. Yeah, I need to start doing that and just kind of doing it on Sundays or whatever. Just get it out because then I'd be more likely to eat them.
Right.
Because I don't really eat those breads because I have a tendency to go overboard. That's kind of what happens when I buy the like the little tortillas. I go crazy with the little tortillas.
Yeah. You'll eat 10 of them, which negates the concept of having little low carb tortillas when you eat 10 of them, they're not.
I have a likely root canal later this week. Might be doing some extended fasting afterwards. To me, that's like a good reason to throw in some like keto chow maybe. But I know you're doing a more stricter carnivore type thing, so that may not fit in there. But that's a good reason to utilize keto chow. Yesterday was National Apple Pie Day, and
was that yesterday?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So I made a quick little video yesterday showing that, keto chow has apple pie flavored shakes.
Yeah. But it's also a good time to make sure you've got your electrolytes ready to rock, and make sure you are prepared for when you're going to end your extended fast. We usually make sure that we have broth in the house so that when he's ready to come off it, he's got something stable to go to. He can drink broth for a day. Maybe if he needs to extend that into the second day, make sure we just have enough. That way he doesn't, refeed too fast and make himself sick.
Yeah, because I'm planning to do a 7-day fast after my birthday.
Oh, thanks for letting me know.
No, we've got over a month.
I know. I'm just finding out now.
Well, because Steve from Serious Keto had mentioned about doing a fast that week.
Yeah.
And I sent a message. I had sent a response and a comment about it. I was like, my birthday is the 25th of June. I would start the 26th, maybe, depending on how things work out. So
yeah, I will not be doing that.
She tasted the rough, the bark, bark, bark.
Noise.
Bark, bark, bark.
What was that up above that you clicked on and then never read?
Oh, she says, too much work just to have a slice of bread. Not for me. It's funny because I used to make 6 loaves at a time of real yeast bread. Well, 5 loaves and a pan of cinnamon rolls.
Oh, cinnamon rolls.
Ooh, yeah.
I like enough cinnamon to literally choke somebody.
I wonder if you could
I want it to burn a little.
I wonder if you could make like the carnivore bread, but with like the butter and add cinnamon and sweetener to it. Because I know like allulose, you can add allulose to it, and it like browns the top and all that stuff.
Try.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would be willing to taste it and tell you if it's gross.
She tasted the bark. She said
you
it was
already
yummy.
said that.
I'm getting back to
doing it again.
Yeah. And then Evelyn says, the whole family is coming. Girls can't wait to meet all my keto peeps. Well, that's
You
gonna be
guys
so
will
much
have
fun.
a good time.
Yeah. And Ron said that they made chaffle today for Taco Tuesday using Quest tortilla style protein chips with 2 burgers. Yummy.
Nice.
Jason.
Thank you for joining us, Jason.
Jason's my buddy. Glad he's here. Let's see. He crushed the chips into the egg and cheese. All right. That sounds good.
That's kind of cool. I bet it tasted like very tortilla-ish.
Remind me, maybe I'll do it with you.
What are you? Oh, the
Fasting.
See, I'm not keeping up with the conversation today. I'm trying, but I'm just tired.
Jahil says, what's the weirdest thing you have eaten? I'm just curious. I'm just a curious cat today. We need to know.
Well, like ever in my life?
Probably.
I've had a lot of things that a lot of other people probably haven't had. I've had escargot.
I have not had
don't
that.
Like that. I've had.
What didn't you like about it? Was there like a sauce?
I was a child, and
yeah.
It was the entire experience was very odd for me, and yet I love sushi, but I did not like escargot. I was very, very little, and I wouldn't eat it now for other reasons, but I've had shark fin soup. I wouldn't eat it now because I don't want to kill sharks to eat them. Let's see, trying to think what else. My parents had a gooseberry bush, and I used to eat gooseberries all the time.
You can go out back and find gooseberries now.
Bunch of odd. There are no gooseberries out here.
There's geese back there all the time.
That is not a gooseberry. Those are goose turds.
Oh.
Not the same. I've had a lot of very interesting things in my life.
Sardines.
My mom used to eat pickled
caviar.
Herring. I've had caviar.
I've had beef tongue, which used to be cheap. It is not cheap anymore. It's like the same price as like sirloin now. Or like a good roast, like $6-7 a pound.
Yeah.
Well, sirloin's about $9 a pound now. But yeah.
And my mom was like a gourmet cook. So there are a lot of things that I've had homemade that a lot of people might not have. I've had borscht, both red and green, homemade. A whole bunch of stuff. She made like a purple cabbage salad with raisins in it. It was interesting. Definitely not a standard type of thing. But
now my grandma told me about all kinds of stuff that her and my great grandma would talk about stuff. But I mean, they grew up, my great grandmother was born in 1912, my grandmother 1932. So there's just that, like there was definitely a generational difference in how they were raised and what they ate. They lived on farms, and then my great grandparents had like a general store. Yeah. So I mean, they would eat souse, which is pig brains.
I have not eaten brains.
I
have eaten conch.
Conch? Yeah, that's just like shell.
Sea slug.
Yeah.
No, there's a slug inside.
Yeah. Darth Carnivore Charlie is asking, do they make a steak flavored mix? They do have a beef soup flavored mix.
And they do have some of the core flavors.
Like the beef collagen flavors. Yeah.
Yeah. They use more carnivore-y ingredients, but some of the sweet ones you probably wouldn't want because again, they're sweetened.
Yeah. But you can get unsweetened ones.
Yeah.
I just don't know how much you would really enjoy that then.
Well, I think those are typically utilized more for recipes.
Yeah.
But
you can add your own sweetener if you choose.
Right.
Let's see. Jackie says, I'm really thinking about doing a month of Bella's group to do the priming. I'm not familiar. Priming. I don't know what that means. What that is. Jahil says he had goat brains as a child. Don't understand why that was a thing. Well,
I don't think the brains of an animal are intended to be eaten. I understand that that's a thing.
Well, it depends on where you were raised, what kind of things are considered delicacies, because you have to remember, just like when my grandma and I would watch things like Bizarre Foods, and they would go into the jungle and pick up these giant grubs and things, and she'd say, I can't believe they're going to have those kids eat that. I'm like, did you see a supermarket? No.
Right. There are different things culturally
Yes.
that make sense for other cultures. Like people eat eyeballs and brains and people even turn like chicken's feet. That's a big thing in the southern states. And I've never had chicken feet.
It just seems kind of a pointless endeavor to
It
me.
seems like there isn't enough meat on a chicken foot to even bother, but people do. I can say without a doubt, I will never eat an eyeball, and that's only because I've dissected one. And no,
I'm not too worried about that. If it's meat, I'm probably going to try it.
Eyeballs are not my thing.
Charlie said, just to get you off that, Charlie says, Jackie, I've heard good things about the priming and some detractors of that practice, e.g., like Dr. Saldivar. Sounds like an interesting experiment. I'm not familiar with what that is. If somebody doesn't explain it to me, I'll have to go look it up.
Yeah.
Stacy says maybe the weirdest was fresh octopus cooked on the beach. That sounds delicious.
That does sound delicious. I like octopus.
She's saying, Evelyn's saying alligator, ostrich. I think I've had those as jerkies, alligator, ostrich.
Yeah.
That's like while in the Philippines, I ate things that weren't able to ask what they were. Also had star apple from Philippines, a many variety of bananas. Some were blue.
Well, that would be cool. I don't like bananas.
I'm totally into going to like the Philippines and like.
You want to try street food.
I do want to go all the street food. That looks so yummy. I don't care how carby it is or not. It all looks delicious to me.
Ow, cat bones. Fat cat sitting right on my knee.
Asparagus is roasting. Then you throw it in the trash.
I'm not a big fan of asparagus, but I can't.
I've tried so many times.
It's something about it being soft and yet also stringy.
Yeah,
it's like rotten celery. It's soft but stringy.
Let's see.
My parents used to love asparagus. We had it often as a child.
Jackie says, if you join Bella for a month, please keep us updated. Yes, do please make some video content, please.
Yes.
And let's see. She said that she will. Shauna says she's not adventurous. No. So I saw a thing. I saw a thing today, and I can't remember who posted it, but I was looking it up, and it was like the average person consumes about 22 gallons of coffee a year. And I was like, okay, let me do the math. Between the two of us, we each drink about 86 gallons of coffee a year.
Yeah.
And probably more than that, depending, because sometimes there's some nights I'll have a second cup.
Right.
It's a 30-ounce cup of coffee.
Yeah. There's some nights when I'll have a second, like I'll have iced coffee in the evening. And sometimes I'll have like a half calf, like half decaf, but it's still coffee. It still counts.
She says, no, I love it. And then she says, sounds overcooked. I don't like crunchy asparagus. I just don't like.
I'm just not a fan of asparagus. I like so many vegetables. There's so many that are better than asparagus.
Yeah, there's Brussels sprouts, broccoli, cabbage,
cauliflower. There's just so much more that I enjoy much better than asparagus.
And it seems like he drinks it. I could drink that in a day.
Yeah.
That's a lot. If you're drinking 86 gallons a day, that's a lot.
You got to pee all the time.
Yes. And Evelyn says, coffee is life.
It is.
Like football is life.
Oh, that's such a good show.
Yes, it was.
Did you guys watch Ted Lasso?
It was good.
It was so good. And the thing is we watched the first two, and I was like, "What is this? This is horrible." And then you get into like the third one, and you're like, "Oh, I just love this show." And then the more you watch it, the more you're like, "I just love every character, every single character in the show."
I did.
Anyway,
I loved it.
It was very good.
That's okay. I like all of those too. Well, I'm glad Scott is here. Good evening, Scott. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, I actually had salad last night, and it was delicious. I feel like I haven't had a salad in like, I don't know, a billion years.
A salad.
Because somebody thinks that lettuce is useless.
It is. I mean, if you like salad, then by all means. But it's like you're paying money for like
crunchy water is what he calls it.
It's incarcerated water.
It's still yummy.
It's water that's in a green leafy jail.
It's yummy.
I'm keeping
It
my
is
eye on
yummy.
you.
I like salads.
Mhm. She said, "What if artichokes?"
Ooh, I like artichokes. They are yummy.
She says, "My blood type is dark roast."
Yeah.
I'm a light, like a blonde
He's
roast.
a blonde.
Yes, I'm a blonde roast. That's probably why I'm so dingy. That might be rude or offensive to some. Oh well. I'm just teasing.
He can be dingy and be a brunette. It doesn't matter. He's just dingy.
You know what?
It's truth.
Nan is here. She says, "Good afternoon. Hope you're doing great. Finally got to a live." Well,
Thanks
we're glad
for
you're
joining
here.
us. Yes, we're glad you're here. We're just kind of rambling. That's pretty much what we do.
There is nothing better than fresh asparagus while still in the garden. Pick it and eat it. Yuck to that other stuff.
I'm not a fan of asparagus, but I will. I used to as a child. My neighbors would grow sugar snap peas, and we would sit out in the garden and help them. Help them means 5 in my mouth, 1 in the basket. 5 in my mouth, 1 in the basket. And we wonder how I got that.
It probably wasn't that.
I'm sure it added to it.
Mm-hmm. Scott says that lettuce is a vehicle for bacon and blue cheese dressing. I don't like blue cheese.
No.
Just bacon. You can have the lettuce and blue cheese.
It was a salad mix, and I threw out all the crap that came with it because it came with some like crunchy junk and its own dressing and I don't know what else, some stuff I wasn't going to eat. Anyway, so I used the mix, which also had I think it had like shredded broccoli in it, and it may have had a couple of shredded carrots in it too, but not enough to be significant. And then I cut up some of the little baby tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and put a few of those in. And then I've got my spicy cheese, so I added some spicy cheese to it. And then I am more of an Italian dressing type of person, so like an oil vinegar type of thing. And the one that we have is we looked at all the ones with the lower carb counts, and the one that we have is like 1 gram of carbs per 2 tablespoons. And it is a garlic herb type of one. Anyway, it's like a vinegar base, oil vinegar base dressing. So I added some of that to it too. And it was delicious.
Hideous.
Delicious. Didn't need anything else.
Charlie thinks I love it. Lettuce is incarcerated water.
Yeah, he thinks it's a waste of space.
Yeah, it's like celery is just basically like water held together with plastic string.
I actually like celery.
You would. And Jahil's asking if we've started watching Fallout yet. I need a 20-page report from each of you by June 1st.
We actually haven't.
No.
We were going to watch it with the middle one because that's his jam.
Yeah, like they were all into the games.
They were all into the games, but he's very like sci-fi lore. Let me read 16 other different things about this one thing I'm watching so that I can tell you all of the little tiny details about it that you didn't know because you obviously care. Surprise, we don't. Anyway, but we were going to save it and watch it with him, and he has been busy with a new girlfriend, so we've not started watching it.
We did finish the Alien
Resident
Alien season 3 without him.
Yes.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have got a chance to watch it.
Right.
So
we hope there's a season 4, 5, 6, all of them.
I hope they keep going. So, Alan Tudyk, I know you're watching, so just make sure that you keep making that show because we'll keep watching.
Yes.
Because Alan Tudyk watches this channel.
I'm sure he does.
He does.
Positive.
Mm-hmm.
Must be.
So priming on carnivore diet is a 2 to 3 week long period of time where the person prioritizes eating 3 meals every day intentionally because it preps the body to really reap the full benefits and healing of intermittent fasting and extended fasting. So basically it's kind of like a feast and famine type thing. So like realistically, like in the wild, I imagine there was probably a lot of this happening where you catch a buffalo, you eat yourself silly.
Oh, very important scam likely.
Yes.
Yeah. Why is your volume not off?
Because the kid calls every day. Anyway, so you would feast and then you would have days where you didn't eat anything and then So I imagine that this is a good way. That might be something interesting. Like I kind of wonder what the protocol is. Like you're eating 3 meals a day, but are you eating above and beyond what you would normally want to eat?
Or are you just spreading it out?
Yeah, because I like to eat about, because I made a post the other day about eating 8 burger patties with the grease and the butter poured back over. And people are like, that seems like so much, but it's only like 2,600 calories. So if you're looking at calories, it was like 144 grams of protein and like 180 grams of fat or something like that, or maybe 200 and some grams of fat. I can't remember the exact, but then it was like no carbs, and then it was, 2,600 calories. So realistically, it's not a crazy amount of food. It's just kind of difficult to eat it all at once.
Mm-hmm.
As I sat down and watched TV and ate that food. It's just, it would be kind of expensive to do that every day too. But I mean, what's 2 pounds of burger? It's like $6 a day.
Yeah.
Give or take.
But if that's all you're eating in a day,
yeah,
then it really isn't that much.
Ranch. No.
No.
You got the wrong people. Now I wouldn't mind like, like a good French onion dip I'm into. But
No.
yeah. I love lettuce, corn, potatoes, and bread are all, I believe lettuce, corn, potatoes, and bread are all the same. They are vehicles to get tasty things in your mouth. Eat the butter, salt, and dips. Ignore the other junk. Yeah.
Yeah. The corn, the potatoes, and the bread, I get. I can avoid those.
I mean, I don't mind corn every once in a while. I wouldn't say I eat enough corn for it to make a difference in my diet.
I don't like corn enough to eat it, to let it, for that to be the reason, why I'm not in ketosis. Like it's just not, I don't like it enough.
Yeah.
Now there are plenty of other things I like enough that I would go for. Ooh, that looks good. That looks like lick the cutting board.
Mm-hmm. My tummy is growling.
Yeah, your tummy's talking about it. That looks really good. Mail us some.
That's what I want. I want some people who make the bread all the time. Just mail us a couple loaves.
Send it to us. It'll be fine.
I'm going to try to figure out how to make it with like a hand mixer, and hopefully it doesn't catch on fire mid loaf.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, no, I like lettuce. I like a salad.
I mean, I enjoy a salad from time to time. I mean, it's good if you put all the stuff in. If you have cheese and cheese and like the bacon and like something crunchy besides the lettuce, like wisps, and like my salad would be like $15.
I don't need all that.
And some sunflower seeds, maybe some like almond slivers, and
So you don't want a salad, you want trail mix.
Yeah, lubed up trail mix. Because that's basically what salad dressing is. It's food lube.
Yeah.
It's roughage lube.
I like an actual salad that's mostly vegetables, but I also was raised on fresh vegetables and fresh fruits all the time. So it's been quite the adjustment for me moving from the regular diet to a keto diet, because the lack of vegetables and the lack of fruits some days really, really are hard.
Oh yeah. So one thing that I want to talk about is like basically what you look at the title of this live is
what is it? I don't even know.
It's Misplaced Blame. Let me make sure, because I think it's different up on here, because usually I'll do whatever. It's the blame game, fighting for better health, right? So I've been seeing, somebody on my Facebook posted something about how crazy people think being vegan is, and basically they're like, how crazy it is to not want a heart attack, how crazy it is to not have your chest ripped open, how crazy is it to not have cancer. And I understand the fear, and there's a video attached. And when you look at the video, everything the video shows was somebody who wasn't exercising, somebody who was going to fast food, somebody eating chips, ordering pizza. They're blaming the meat for what the garbage and lack of motivation did. Now, the lack of motivation is when you are eating trash, you don't feel like doing anything. You don't have stamina. You don't have the ability to breathe
tired
very
all the
well. You're
time.
tired. If you're not sleeping good, you're not well hydrated. Even with hydration, there's misinformation out there. People who are literally drinking a gallon of water, a gallon of free water every day. And I say free water, that's just like they're just getting a gallon of water from the tap or
that's
whatever.
Water that's not bound to something else.
Like electrolytes.
If it doesn't have electrolytes in it, it doesn't have, even people who drink, sugared lemonade and things like that, the water will bind to the sugar. Just free water.
Yeah. And that's like if that's so she said she sent you a picture. But yeah, so I mean, people are there's always a battle for health. And I'm somebody, I'm not going to blame somebody for being vegan because they are trying to do something better for themselves. They're not. Here, let me see.
Her feet versus the kid's shoes.
Yeah.
He got some big feet. He's going to be tall. Isn't it like puppies?
I don't know.
Anyway. Yeah, the thing is even still, okay, so if you're leading a vegan lifestyle and you are clean vegan, so like everything you eat is fresh and you're not buying all the store-bought soy and whatever else junk that's out there, you're probably a lot better off, a lot healthier than the vegans who are eating those weird
vegan chili dogs,
vegan burgers and whatever. And I get that those aren't actually, like, if you ask somebody who's vegan, they understand like that's not supposed to taste like meat. It's not a meat replacement. It's just another form of meal. Okay. However,
well, I mean, it is a meat replacement, but they understand that it's not necessarily healthier than meat.
Right.
Some people will think that.
But the thing is like all of the processed junk and crap that's in all that food is just as bad as if you were eating a burger and fries. So you're not benefiting from that. And so these people who are saying, oh, it's the burger, oh, it's this. No, it's everything else. Everything. On top of the fact, like, we're, we are medicating children younger and younger. We are, there's crap in our water supply that shouldn't be there. There's so many things that we are putting into our bodies that we have no idea what they are. You can't blame meat for all of it. You just can't. I mean, it'd be ideal. I'm sure they want some patsy. They want somebody to be the fall guy, and they're utilizing meat as that. But it's easy
to take a product like meat and make it the fall guy, because if you look at the average consumer, how much meat they're actually consuming is such a trivial amount. You go to McDonald's, you're getting 4 ounces of meat, 2 ounces of bun, 12 ounces of fries, 32 ounces of sugary soda. And then if you're getting a shake or you're getting whatever else, or you're getting a second fry, or you're getting chicken nuggets, there's how much actual meat is in those chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the ingredients. I imagine it's not a lot, but I could be wrong.
The pink fluff.
I mean,
but the thing is like all of those things, if you're not doing it the cleanest way that you can, then you're probably going to be next in line. Like, yeah, you don't want a heart attack. You don't want open heart surgery. You don't want to have strokes. You don't want to do all of these things. That's understandable to want to make a lifestyle change so that you can avoid those things. But if you are still eating crap, even like the bread slims that we talked about, if that's a regular part of your everyday diet, maybe you need to reconsider that. Even
is it better than eating a full-on bun? Sure.
Yeah, but should it be part of your everyday? Probably not.
I mean, there are people out there that's going to be what their keto is
and what they can do
and what they, what their ability is. Because you have to look at the reason why there is so much trash available is because it's convenient. Mm-hmm. Not everybody has the wherewithal
to
cook or to even feel like cleaning up or even go to the grocery store enough to maintain.
You have to get the shelf stable stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we survived for years on frozen everything, boxed ramen noodles, frozen pizzas, macaroni and cheese. We lived for that for years. because it was easy to go to the store once every 2 weeks,
Mm-hmm.
load up, fill the fridge, fill the pantry, fill everything, and then you didn't have to worry about the meat going bad.
Right. And you didn't have to worry about the kids going, Mom, there's nothing to eat. There's always something.
Mm-hmm.
It might be a pack of ramen, but it's something. It might be a container of a box mac and cheese, but it's something. So like you can't necessarily blame people for doing what's convenient when the majority of the population lives in, a household where one or both adults has to work to survive.
Most often both, and then
most often both, and they're doing what they can to keep things going, and so
because when we were both working, you were getting home at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. I was
Right.
getting home at 7, depending, 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock at night, because at the time back then I was working till 6 o'clock at night. I had a drive. Then I had my, a mom in a nursing home. So I had to stop by, and see her, visit her, because, nobody wants to be alone.
Right.
And that's just something. It was on my way home. I would stop in, visit her 15, 20 minutes almost every single day. And it never felt like it was enough. But it was, try to visit her a little every day, every other day. So she wasn't so lonesome. And then come home, try to cook dinner. And you got to get the kids to do their homework, showers, and get everything done before you go to bed at a reasonable time. Because if you're in bed midnight, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning on a weeknight, then you're back up again and got to get the kids
up at 5 a.m. and get moving.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is like we all do the best we can with what we have. We've seen the light. We're trying to do keto the best we can. That doesn't mean that we don't eat crap occasionally or keep store-bought bread, because sometimes it's easier than fighting a 5-year-old. Lord, she's mean and she hits hard. But even, being vegan, being vegetarian or carnivore or whatever, if you're not striving to eat the cleanest that you can, you're probably ingesting crap into your body that you're not intending to. And you're probably not off the list of the people who are going to have bad outcomes. I mean,
it's like Impossible Burgers. I think that's the brand. At Walmart now, they have replaced their industrialized seed oils with avocado oil. Now, does that make them overall better? I think it's
maybe
a solid 15-20% better than it was.
Yeah.
But then you're still eating pea protein and all these other proteins that are not necessarily bioavailable. So you're eating, the 25 grams of protein per serving or whatever it is on the package. I can't remember. But how much of that are you actually taking in? How much is your body able to utilize it? And is it utilizing it efficiently? And is it giving you a solid foundation to grow and be healthy? These are all things that I think people don't necessarily take the time to really consider, because they don't even know to consider them.
Right. And it's easy to blame meat as an overall, like, oh, it's the bad guy, when you got to sit back and think, well, there's a lot out there that's not good. You can't just pick one thing. You can't just say whichever the president is a bad guy and causing all of the problems in the nation. That's not how that works. There's an entire governing body in each individual state. Same type of thing.
I think our government is like 100,000 people.
Yeah, like same thing. You can't just pick one thing and blame it. There are so many things that impact that one thing.
And that's the question that I've asked before. How do you take what we are doing on a grand scale between everybody who's carnivore, keto, lion, all these things? We're all in this to make ourselves happy or healthy, healthy, and making it work towards our lives. But there is a lot of sacrifice that we put into this because of the fact that if you want to be sustainable with this, you have to mold it to you. Mm-hmm. So there's obviously going to be some trade-offs
and some adjustments.
Some
I'm okay with this, but not okay with that.
Right. You have to, there's always a line in the sand that you're drawing somewhere. Mm-hmm. And how can we take that and tie a pretty little bow and deliver it to the masses that are used to McDonald's, that are used to frozen this, frozen that. They don't eat.
They eat cereal for breakfast every day.
Yes, I mean the thing is I put out recipe videos, and one of the questions is, what do you set the temperature? Well, always start with 350 and work your way from there.
Yeah.
You know, depending on your oven,
you turn it on.
Basically, you know, I mean, even like our middle son, he'll call me randomly and go, "Hey, how do you cook this?" He called me and asked me how I make the chicken that I make, the butter bob chicken. And I was like, well, it's bone in, skin on chicken thighs. And I cooked them in lard. He goes, well, can I cook it in something else? Tallow.
You can cook it in anything else, but it's not going to be butter bob's chicken.
Well, I mean, he wants to cook it in like olive oil or whatever. And I'm like, that's not going to be.
It's not going to be good.
No, it
doesn't have a high enough smoke point.
Right. So there's just a lot of those things. And I understand there's a lot of stigma with things like lard and tallow, not in our community, but in the grand scheme of things. Are you okay, buddy?
He's meowing at me. He just looked at me and whatever, dude.
But like I think we're all grinding. No, excuse me. We're all climbing up this hill, trying to better our health. And there's so much infighting between, whether it's vegan or ketovore, carnivore, everybody. There's so many people out there that their way is the only way, and you're wrong if you don't do it exactly the way that they do. And I think it's so counterproductive, and we're never going to be able to help the society at large because realistically, everybody is in the situation that they're in these days because they followed guidelines.
Well, and because we've allowed society to become very, how do I put this? We live in a capitalist society.
We do.
Where money is king.
Yes.
And decisions are not made based on what's appropriate or acceptable or even healthy for the population.
They go based on what we buy. And that's
based on what ups the bottom line.
Yes.
What brings more money, more profit to CEOs.
Right.
And to shareholders.
Someone to get.
So, but anyway.
Charlie's saying that, let's see. They're saying that Sherry had some labs. I haven't had a chance to watch her video yet. It kind of just stacks up with all the other videos. So I'm glad that her biomarkers are looking good. Charlie says that he's just waiting for Chris Cooking Nashville, who's live as we speak. So if you want to check him out, I would not be mad at you. Go and show him some love just as much as you show to me and to her, but more me than her. What?
This guy.
Yeah. But he said he's looking for him to open up a chain of keto, carnivore, fast food joints that's accessible via DoorDash. I would say that would be something. I don't know how viable that would be. I mean, realistically, you're looking at places that cook burgers, steaks
with crap oils.
Well, without bad oils, because I mean,
right.
And
I was thinking like ghost kitchening it and having, but then you can't guarantee.
What's in it. That's the problem that Mr. Beast had with his Mr. Beast burger.
Yeah,
he was able to open 300 locations at the same time, but he had zero quality control.
Right.
So Chris would have to open up a single restaurant in Nashville and have it do well, and then slowly move out. I mean, you have to look at like something like Five Guys, where they're probably maybe the cleanest, maybe.
I don't know. I've never looked
at their so expensive. They're so expensive.
I never thought it was that good for as pricey as it was.
No, but I mean, you go and you get a burger, you can get basically a whole salad with it for no extra cost, really. Yeah. Bacon and all the stuff and whatever.
No.
But yeah, so and Jackie's right. Slow progress is progress. Let's see.
I think you're skipping a lot.
Well, I'm just trying to see what's relevant.
He's slow.
You know what? You have to meet yourself where you're at. I mean, and that's the thing is that when we, like, where are we? What's realistically, you have to meet yourself where you can be sustainable.
Right.
Because we can all start something new tomorrow, but how many days is it going to last if we're doing above and beyond what we're actually capable of doing?
Right. You can Marie Kondo your house once, do you have the stamina to keep it up for a year?
Yeah, that's the lady, the declutter your house lady.
If it doesn't bring you joy, throw it out or donate it.
I'm going to help me get her in the car.
It's going to take at least 5 of you.
Yeah. But yes, I mean, that's how I try to go about things. How can I make it sustainable for me? That means some days I'm having a bologna sandwich because I need that something.
Crap.
Sometimes, realistically, sometimes I just need to make some queso dip or
queso dip you make.
Yes,
but...
I make. I mean, and
anyway, but you have to be adjustable. You have to be flexible, and you have to give yourself grace and forgiveness, because some days you're just not going to be able to make it, and that's fine. But you know, if everybody's so busy fighting amongst each other and nobody can come to a consensus, nobody can say, you know what, we probably need to be doing a little better on just making sure that the products that are available to us are better.
And that's why
we're not going to change the way the system works if we can't get more people on board understanding that their health is important and they are important as a human being, and what they're putting into their bodies is actually killing them.
And that's why we're so selective and choosy on products that we'll try anything for a video. Well, she won't.
I won't.
But I mean, we try products all the time.
Right.
But if you watch the video, we're very cautious in outlining, should you eat this? Is it good? Is it worth your money? That's
right.
what we do. But then things like keto chow, salty, pork and good pork rinds, stuff from KG Foods. These are all things that we feel confident meet a standard that we can feel good about saying you should try this, because then we know that hopefully you will come to, it's a good quality item. Whether or not it fits your needs is a whole other thing, but we're trying to put good, as clean as we can out there for everybody. So,
and we talk about it always, just because it fits doesn't necessarily mean it fits for you.
Right.
And, if you need to use something as a crutch to get yourself through, if it's your time of the month or you just had a death in the family and you got to cope, and the best way to cope is, using something that's maybe keto. Try some of these things that we try, because they're not the best, some of them, but they might get you through that hump to where you don't need to go buy an entire bag of Reese's peanut butter cups.
I saw a bucket of them at Walmart the other day.
Where you don't and feel because then you just feel worse, and it like steamrolls and it gets worse and worse and worse and worse. So, your hands are warm.
Let's see.
So cool.
Shauna says she had a scrapbooking. I had a scrapbooking, let's call her acquaintance, when I told her I'd lost 85 pounds, possibly more. Yeah, in 3 years, say, well, that's not all that much. I just looked at her and shook my head.
You are so much nicer than I would be. Yeah. You are just so much nicer than I would be, because I'd be like, whatever, bitch, you haven't done anything. And just.
Well, like yesterday you weren't home and I went outside and there was one of those door-to-door salesman people, and he was like, oh, blah, 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 trying to sell us like some kind of alarm system. Like we already have an alarm system. He goes, well, this will work even if your power goes out and blah, 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 blah.
Is it Vivint? They've been hitting all the neighborhoods around us. Yeah. No, I don't want those sketch people in my house. Anyway.
And I was like, he was like, well, I'll come back later. I was like, I have to talk to my better half, Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'll come back and I'll knock on the door. I'm like, well, keep your fingers crossed you get me and not her.
I am not friendly to door-to-door salespeople.
Yeah.
Unless they're children, I can be kind to the children, but to the adults, get off my porch, go away. I'm not knocking at your door on my day off, am I? So why are you here? I'm very not nice.
I would drive to go get his stuff. I wouldn't DoorDash it. I'd drive and go get it. So she said she worked in the medical field, not sure where, is delusional thinking of delusional thing. So the thing about the medical field is there's so little nutritional training unless you're a nutritionist.
And even then the education is just standard American diet.
Yes. That's whatever the FDA is.
Yeah.
Calories in, calories out.
Well, and
Sherry is prescription free.
Hell
Way
yeah.
to
Way to
go. I need a little thing here to hit the button and have it play some
Like,
kind of video.
right.
Big Belly Bob is in the house. I'll see him tomorrow
Thank you
night.
for joining us. The big thing is in the medical field, especially so like I work ICU, one of our doctors has a phrase that he uses because family and friends are always like, oh, but they were so healthy before they came in. And so his tagline is, yeah, they were just running a marathon yesterday. Like, people don't realize that they live an unhealthy lifestyle in general, right? Just across the board. People smoke, they're the picture of health, but they're not. You're smoking, you are not the picture of health. And so we get jaded as healthcare professionals because you get people in who are like, oh, they're so healthy. We just don't understand how this happened. Really? They've had 3 heart surgeries. They have COPD. What do you mean they were the picture of health? They were not. They were sick, and we get a lot of patients who come in who are, more than just overweight. We've all been there, right? And their family says, well, we just don't understand. And the healthcare provider goes, but really, did you think they were that healthy? Really? And then your patient eventually, for me, once they're no longer intubated, they are, well, this has been a near-death experience for me. It's a wake-up call. And you go, well, good. It really should be. You really need to change your lifestyle. You really need to quit smoking, or you need to quit drinking, or you need to work on having a better diet, or whatever it is. And then you see them again the next month for the same thing they were just in there for. So the medical field as a whole is worn down and jaded by patients who come in with repeated issues, and family and the patient themselves are delusional in the fact that, oh, I was fine. I only smoke a half a pack a day. Really? And
I only drink 6 Cokes a day, or
I only drink a 5th of vodka every day. And then you go home and we see you again in a month, and we just shake our heads. We can't fix you. And we're frustrated and irritated. Now, that doesn't excuse the behavior.
And it's the same thing that we run across. How many of us have had people in our lives come up to you and say, well, you look fantastic. What are you doing? And you kind of lay it on the line. I'm doing this. I cut out this, and I'm doing this for myself, and I've stopped doing this. And they're like, well, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that.
I love carbs too much.
Oh,
I just couldn't. I just can't.
I couldn't live without bread or pasta.
Yeah.
You could.
Or the ones who go, but I'm so concerned. You're going to die because of this. Meat is so bad for you.
You get that from I hear that so many times in these lives where people will go and their doctors are giving them like the most amazing bill of health. Like they've lost weight. Their blood pressure's down. Their biomarkers are great. Their A1C's now no longer pre-diabetic or diabetic. And then they have like a slightly elevated cholesterol. And they're like, want you to stop doing what you're doing, go back to what you were doing before where you were unhealthy, and put you on a statin.
Yeah. By the way,
that doesn't make any sense.
Statins are the devil. Do not take them. That is not medical advice.
We're not providing medical advice here. Please talk to your doctor.
But yeah,
you have the right to decline any medication that you do not want to take.
Correct.
But we are not here to tell you which ones those are or for why.
Exactly. Anyway, but
so we're talking about so that place that we were talking about, the Columbus Keto Treats place, is closing. I didn't get a chance to go. It was too much of a time crunch.
Yeah.
She said I couldn't make it work. Yeah, I mean, that stuff is so expensive.
It is, and I think that the market can be there, but I feel like Columbus really isn't that big of a town. Like if they did it in Indianapolis, they could do.
Maybe, I don't know. Columbus is about the same size as Indianapolis.
Yeah. I don't know though. I don't know that there's going to be as big of a keto population there, you think?
I imagine it's probably growing everywhere. I know that there is a Starlight place, like a Starlight bakery that's in Las Vegas, but it's off strip. Because I mean, obviously you probably couldn't afford to do that on the strip because just the rent.
I feel like you would need huge word of mouth and a very consistent group of people willing to make the trip. Like the reason why the keto pizza place that we go to is because they have a large group of constituents, a group of customers that are willing to make the drive to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's just hard.
Let's see. Shauna says, I believe I read that after Marie Kondo had a baby, her views changed.
Right. Well, if some days the baby doesn't bring you joy, you can't throw it out.
It's true. And Jackie says, like Dr. Barry says, vote with your dollar. And that's what we try to do.
Yeah.
And like, there's been so many products that we did endorse and we did like, and I would buy as often as we could.
And then they're gone.
They still don't make it. There was like the Nolita, excuse me, these Nolita cauliflower, like little tater tots. They were so good. They didn't taste anything like the ones I make, but they had their own flavor to them. Were so good. And they were relatively clean.
Oh, excuse me.
And then there was like Smart Cakes. She liked their giant muffins.
There was, okay. So there were these cookies that they sold at
Fresh Time.
And they were avocado based, basically like a no-bake tasting type of a cookie. They had very minimal carbs, and I think they were sweetened with allulose, and they were so flippin' good.
They were like a no-bake. They were tasted like a no-bake cookie.
Right.
But they didn't have oats in them.
They didn't have oats in them. I think they had like coconut and avocado and something else, and obviously cocoa. And they were delicious. And I would buy them every chance we went there. And they don't have them anymore. They're gone. Pretty sure the company went out of business. Hi, Jackson. That's my boy. That's my middle child.
But Reese's eggs are really good. They are really good.
They are really, well, I can't do the peanut butter anymore, but they may be really good, but there's a substitute out there that's keto that you could manage to get by with. They don't have to be the most delicious things on the planet. It just has to be enough to get you over the hump through whatever you're going through to get back to your baseline.
Yeah, tomorrow is 8:00, right, Bob? I think I never saw the 3:00. I thought I saw it was 8:00 at night. So I know that there's something earlier in the day, and then I know there's the one at 8:00 out in Avon. So I think that's what we're looking at here. And Stacy says, be careful as we might bring pickled quail eggs.
I love you. I will still not partake. I will not. Would not, could not in a boat. Would not, could not with a goat.
I'd eat the goat.
Yeah,
I'd eat the goat in the boat. Anyway. And Jackie says, even if doctors know proper human diet doesn't mean they'll promote it. But I don't think they legally can.
Oh yeah. And there's a big thing about it. Like in the United States and in other countries, you can get, sued significantly, and they don't really have to have a basis. Like they can say, oh, I went keto and then I had a heart attack. Oh, sure. It wasn't the, 30, 40 years of eating McDonald's daily. It was the keto that did it.
Well, that's like what happened with Professor Noakes. He said something there was a tweet, basically somebody asking, hey, can we wean off a baby onto banting, which banting over in South Africa is keto, right? That's what they call keto, is banting. Mm-hmm. And he was like, sure. There was a 5-year legal battle from that tweet.
Well, and from that, there's also likely other players in that game. I just listened to, I listened to John Oliver on YouTube, and I know he is a comedian and a political commentator, but he's not real. Like, you're not supposed to take everything he says seriously.
Right. It's all tongue in cheek to a degree.
Right. But it was either him or it was, who's the other guy I watch with the gray hair?
Jon Stewart.
I listened to both of them. I definitely think they're both funny, and I like a lot of what they have to say. I don't agree with everything, but I like a lot of what they have to say. And one of the two of them did a story on baby formula and how it is so bad. And the baby formula markets across not just the United States, but across other countries have got such an in with other governments that they are like, you can get sued for promoting anything other than the formulas. And they've created formulas for, the more than just an infant formula, but like the toddler formulas and whatnot. And all they're doing is feeding you corn syrup and feeding your children corn syrup, but they make so much money doing it.
So when our granddaughter was born, she had to be on formula. And I spent so much time trying to find
the most keto
the
formula.
most human appropriate formula.
Right.
And they're all low milk, they're low fat milk powder with vegetable oil, corn syrup. It's the lowest common denominator ingredients, and they charge so much money. You're getting fast food ingredients at fine dining prices.
Well, and the big thing is, once we found one that was decent and we got her on it, she was doing very, very well on it. When it was just before we were about to wean her off, they changed the ingredients. They got bought by somebody else and changed the ingredients, and corn syrup became the number 2 ingredient. And I'm like, what the hell? So
even the good, what we found was the best, was still not good.
Was still not good.
No.
But it was the best of what was available.
Yes.
But like they have, I can see that the governments, with regards to formula and whatnot, weaning children.
And the fact that we've gotten to the point where they're pushing formula. I mean,
over and above
breast milk. Yeah, that's the most insane thing you could ever. I mean, how is something industrialized healthier than what the mother makes naturally?
Well, and that started here in the United States back in like the 50s.
Well, it's because women were going into the workplace.
Well, even before women were going into the workplace, it was considered obscene. It was obscene for you to pull your breast out and feed your child. Why would you let that happen? That was for the poor. That was for the poor folk, not for the rich people. The rich people, the fancy people, they used formula because formula is better. Formula is freaking corn syrup and crap. Why would you give that to your children?
It's like I said, it's the majority of it is non-fat milk powder, vegetable oils to replace the fat that they took out of the milk, and then high fructose corn syrup, and then other things too.
Yeah.
And then they add in like niacin and all these things, the vitamins or whatever, then it's fortified. It's disastrous, and that made me feel so bad
to have to give it to her,
to go and then buy it and have to spend so much money on it.
Yeah.
That's one of those things.
But she had to eat because she has to live, and you can't live if you can't eat.
Yes.
And our daughter tried so hard to breastfeed, and it just didn't work out. And sometimes that happens. She just wasn't making enough milk, and things just weren't turning out well. So you have to do what you have to do. At the very end, you feed the baby because the baby needs fed.
Yes.
So, but
let's see. She said that she was just rude. The person Shauna was talking about was rude. And she's had other sad doctors that are nicer.
Yeah.
And the specialist put in my chart, have sensitivity to statins, do not prescribe.
That's good. Well, see, there's a doctor that the nurses at my work talk about, and she is an OBGYN. I don't know her personally, so I can't say anything personally about it. But they had they've all talked about how horrible she is and what terrible bedside manner she has. And some of these girls I work with are like toothpick thin, like skinny, skinny little things. And she told every one of them that they were fat while they're pregnant, an OBGYN, that they were fat while they were pregnant. Are you kidding me? How are you a doctor? Like, you sound like a terrible human being. But anyway. Yeah, there are a lot of nasty people out there, even in medical.
Jackie says she's going to start answering. I couldn't do that with, that's your addiction talking.
Right?
And your son.
Yes.
Your son said, I do all my self-control at the store. Once it's in the house, it's over. I've already eaten it. Well, that's the thing is, like, I get so upset with myself because at the store, I don't buy anything that we shouldn't have. I try to not buy things.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get home and I'm mad that I didn't buy anything.
Yeah.
I'm like pacing around the kitchen, looking in the pantry, like, So sometimes I will buy, like, I got some pork rinds on clearance this week, and I bought some dip. And I've been trying to find the cleanest dip, and it's so difficult to find clean.
I bet you could make something.
I probably could.
You need to look into that. I bet you could make something that you would like.
Probably have to buy like this different, buy a bunch to be able to make it. But
no, you could just use like cream cheese and heavy cream.
Well, no, it would be sour cream.
Or sour,
it's a sour cream base.
Whatever.
And then I'd have to find the spices that aren't loaded down and caked with a bunch of crap.
I'm sure you could do it.
I'm sure I
Cheap.
probably could. Not cheap. If
We
you want it to be clean, it's not going to be cheap.
we do a lot of our self-control at the store too, because if you don't buy it, you don't have it.
Yes.
You can't easily get it, and especially now that stores around us aren't open 24 hours a day. So like, I don't drink Diet Coke if I don't buy Diet Coke, because Diet Coke's not.
Oh, and one of the
house.
things is like, so I used to like every once in a while run over to the gas station up the street and get a fountain soda. Like 89 cents during the summertime or whatever. But they don't have Coke Zero, so that's out the window.
Yeah. I don't like going to the store to get a soda.
That's just a whole deep rooted
It's a whole deep thing.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll move on.
To my ex-husband.
So Jahil says, last time I went to my doctor, I told him some issues I was having, and his reply was, why don't you smoke some weed? But I mean, it's legal in New Jersey, isn't it now?
Yeah, but that shouldn't be the
I
answer.
know. They see you had anxiety at some point and assume everything else is made up.
Oh, I actually had a friend who had gone to the hospital multiple times saying she felt like something was wrong with her heart. And every time she would leave the hospital, they would write her anti-anxiety medications like Valium, etc., and Xanax and whatnot. And she kept saying, I know what anxiety is. I'm not having anxiety. Something's wrong with my heart. So they would do an EKG. They would run troponins. They'd say, you're fine, and send her home. After a year of going to the hospital, probably 6 to 8 times in the year, and being told she was fine, she finally went to a different hospital. And she said, look, I don't feel okay. Something's wrong with my heart. That hospital did an ultrasound of her heart. She had a tumor in her atria, a large tumor in her atria that was impeding blood flow. And she needed immediate open heart surgery. And she had gone to the hospital through the system that we worked at, and that they sent the care coordinator to talk to her and say, why didn't you come to our hospital? Why did you go to this other hospital just to be transferred to us for this open heart surgery? Because the other hospital didn't do open heart surgeries. She said, I did. I came to this hospital 6 to 8 times, and every time they sent me home with a new script for anxiety meds. I told them I wasn't having anxiety. They did nothing. I had to go to another hospital to get diagnosed, and I have a freaking heart tumor that could have killed me, and y'all did nothing about it. So
what did they say to that? Our bad.
Yeah, basically, our bad. Here's the bill.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't attest to the way things are done. All I can say is that if you really know that you're having an issue, you need to be your own advocate. You need to speak up for yourself, get a second, third, fourth opinion if necessary, go to a different system, go talk to other people, do what you have to do to get things addressed. Because a lot of times doctors are only people, and people have their own flaws. So if you're not getting what you need addressed, keep going until you do. Don't give up.
Shauna says, I have been known to just put some peanut butter on a piece of Lily's bar. Does the trick for me. And we all have those. We all have those little things that we do to
whatever gets you through.
Because I was putting, and when we first started keto, like before keto chocolate was in the stores, I was buying the Lindt 90%, or even 92%, 90 to 92%.
That shit tastes like dirt.
Oh, it does. It tastes like dirt. Yeah. And
it doesn't taste like chocolate.
And I was getting the almond butter from Costco and just drizzling it on that and eating it. And I was just like, it was something.
It was enough.
And Jackie says the keto candy is fine. There's a fine line between enough and enough to keep you in the bathroom. And that's the thing is, the keto candy.
Sugar-free gummy bears. 5.
Well, that's the Albanese kind.
I can eat 5 sugar-free gummy bears.
Legitimate keto candy just gives me violent gas. The normal everyday run-of-the-mill sugar-free candy, I won't touch. I won't touch it. I buy it for her when she asks me to. I won't touch it because a small little nibble, and I'm down for the count.
See, I like the Albanese gummy bears, so I'll ask him to buy me a bag of sugar-free ones, and I'll just take 5 at a time. If I take more than 5, I need to basically stay on the toilet for 24 to 48 hours. But occasionally, 5 of those gummy bears are enough to make me feel fine. I'm good. I don't need anything else. I'll have one good fast bathroom break, and then I'm back to normal. But more than 5, I might as well just set up shop in the restroom.
And Bob and Big Belly Bob did confirm that the second spot is 8 p.m. So that's where I'll be going tomorrow night.
Okay.
There's a place in Avon. Julie in the Pine is here. Thank you so very much. She says we're
Thanks
awesome.
for joining us.
That makes me all like.
It does. You're all giddy already.
Mhm. And Scott says, thank you so much for getting me through my walk with my dog. It was actually a bit hot this evening in mid 80s.
Yeah, it's been toasty around here too lately.
Well, it's been cold today.
Rain.
The cold and
made
rain
it cold.
today, yeah.
So I'm in my hoodie and my jamma pants. And I have a cat warming my legs.
It is so very sad that we're putting our babies through this. Like the formula that we're utilizing, especially for the cost. The cost of formula and the ingredients that's in it is, I mean, it's not good ingredients. I mean, it's not like, it's not gourmet stuff. And I don't know if there's like, I don't think there's better. I think, and it's
been 5 years. There may be better.
There may be better now.
Well, the thing is that it has to meet the ADA FDA guidelines of what's appropriate for babies.
Right.
Who the hell wrote that? Nobody actually considered.
Nabisco.
Right. Nobody ever actually considered what's actually healthy for babies.
Because Nabisco owns most of the stuff when it comes to baby formula. Nabisco owns most of it.
It's just asinine. It's ridiculous that we let these companies do what they do. Sorry, this is the kind of stuff that really gets my goat.
Oh yeah, Jackie says that Dr. Chafee was talking about a country that forced parents to give the babies formula, and then all of a sudden had a crazy rise in seizures. Yeah. I mean,
it's probably one of the African countries that they were talking a lot about it and the formula on whichever John Stewart or what is his name, Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they talked a whole lot about it. How like the government literally was like forcing people. Yeah, it's terrifying. Ridiculous.
Bob says we spit straight knowledge.
We try.
We are not experts by any stretch of the imagination.
No, and but
we are very, very passionate about this stuff.
Yeah, especially with children. I mean, you're talking about.
My friend is here, Sarah.
Hello, Sarah. We are talking
She's the one
about.
that works at Disney. Ooh. Yeah, that's what her husband Matt comes in on my streams on Sunday mornings from the beach club, and he's like, and I was like, he shows up with a little bit of Disney magic that I need to kind of get me through. She builds lightsabers.
That sounds like fun.
I know.
But
I do want a lightsaber one of these days.
But the thing is, when we're talking about children, we're talking about the most vulnerable of our species, right?
Yes.
The things that can't survive without us.
Yeah.
Why are we trying to hurt them? That's really what it comes down to. These large companies are hurting babies for money.
Our boy's got to go. Oh. We love you too,
Love you, boy. We will see you Thursday. Yes?
Sometime.
I need a yes.
He's probably gone already.
Probably.
And then Shauna says cream cheese, sour cream, seasonings, easy peasy, chicken cheesy.
There you go. That's how you make it.
Porking good, ranch seasoning, and our sour cream is good.
Oh, I bet they do make a decent ranch seasoning.
It would be expensive.
Oh, it can't be that expensive. Not when you're making it into a dip.
Yeah.
What are you going to add? The whole bottle?
Maybe.
It's going to be just seasoning.
Ooh. So you can use Greek or homemade yogurt as your base. I don't like yogurt.
It's literally.
Maybe I will try it. Maybe it'll be good.
Yogurt is delicious.
Make your own yogurt and flavor it in lots of. I'm not doing that.
My dad used to make yogurt when I was a kid.
I don't even know if we have our Instant Pot anymore. I don't think we do.
I think there's one in the garage, isn't there? In a box.
Maybe. Porking Good has a great seasoning. Most of them are clean. I have the ranch, dill pickle, and sea salt vinegar.
So you could make dips.
I might have to get you one of those sea salt vinegar ones.
I like that. Yeah. I love sea salt vinegar. That's one of my favorite flavors.
I make a great queso for my pork rinds with heavy cream, cream cheese, sharp cheddar, and salsa. Mix it all together. I use like Hatch
citrate.
I use sodium citrate, and I use water, cheddar cheese, and sometimes like jack cheeses. And then I use whatever salsa I feel like using. Sometimes a tomatillo, sometimes a Hatch green chili. And then that way I can control with the water, and I use a little bit of heavy cream to make it creamy as well. But I use a little more water, so it helps lower the carb count too. Mm-hmm. Jahil says that makes me so sad to hear. Some doctors and hospitals suck. I said the same thing. I know what anxiety is, and I'm not having it, and when I'm not, that's the thing is like, and I hate to say it, but I don't think it's just I think they're so and I'm not trying to make necessarily excuses, but the way it's set up, it's like almost designed to fail, because you think about it, they're overworked. Think about like your general practitioner. He gets to spend 2 minutes with you twice a year, once
They
a
have
year.
30 to 50 appointments in a day.
Yeah. So they have to get in, get out, get in, get out, get in, get out. And they're so used to just kind of getting lied to. So when they're not being lied to, they can't tell the difference. And they're just throwing medicine at you. It's just a sad system all the way around. I don't think necessarily doctors are
not
bad.
They're just in a no-win situation.
Now, hospitals, on the other hand, they're, especially even for not-for-profit hospitals, are still making a profit. Yeah. So they're designed to still make a profit, even if they're a not-for-profit. They're still designed to make more than they did last year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, during Nurses Week, which is now Hospital Week because nurses don't get a week. They had an article sitting on the nurses station at my work. And I do love my work and I love where I work right now. But they had this big article sitting on the counter about how the Indiana hospitals, the major hospitals, have lost over $700 million in profits in the last year. Boo-hoo. I'm really sad
I don't
about
feel bad
that.
for you. It's the new Owl Tootsie Roll Pop commercial. Chandra, how many sugar-free gummy bears does it take to send you to the bathroom? 1, 2, and then
5.
she's there all night.
If I eat more than 5, I can't get up. Cannot.
Oh yeah, how is your wrist doing, dear? All my salads, dressing, or dips, just full fat sour cream, dried seasoning, stirred in, taco, Italian, dry ranch, Indian.
See, I would do that, but I greatly dislike sour cream and I greatly dislike cream cheese unless it's turned into a cheesecake. I can't help it.
It's her elbow. Well, I hope it feels good. Torn the tendon again. Start physical therapy tomorrow. Oh, that's so good.
That sucks. I hope
we're
therapy
sending love and hugs your way, dear.
I hope therapy works. I hope they get you back in a working order.
And Matt says he's here to provide a little Disney magic on a Tuesday night. See,
yes.
I would love to be able to be in a situation where like we could do meetups at the parks.
You just want to do Disney.
I just want to go to Disney.
You just want to be there.
I just want to be like, you know what? Let's go and have a meetup at Disney Springs.
I will say every time we've left Disney, I've looked for a job there. Every time I've been like, I could be a nurse at Disney.
It'd be so amazing.
I'm sure I could.
I mean, there's got to be some kind of nursing staff. I don't know if they pay well at the park at Magic Kingdom.
I'm sure.
Or Animal Kingdom.
I'm sure they've got something.
I don't know.
Could you use a critical care nurse? Just saying.
No pork and good ranch seasoning. I'll have to maybe look into seeing how much they are. Maybe I think you can get like a combo pack.
Yeah.
And we'll try and get that because I can make some dips on my own.
And you can even make videos about your dips.
I do love
dips. You can dip on a video.
Dip. Let's see. He says, you guys come down and we can do a meetup at Disney Springs. If you want to go to the park, we're down for that too. I love the parks.
I do.
Oh my goodness. I love the parks. I love I know that there's a lot of things going to be happening in the next 10 years at the Magic Kingdom. I'm super excited for. Like, I really hope that they do Villains Land there.
Oh, I really hope that happens.
I wish they would. I don't know.
That would be my favorite.
They keep going back and forth on whether they'll open a Haunted Mansion restaurant. That'd be so cool.
I mean, it would be cool.
It would at least one time.
It's unnecessary. Villains Land is a must.
Well, I mean,
it needs to happen.
If you cross over, like you go through, like you have to pass by the Haunted Mansion restaurant to get into Villains Land.
I would enjoy a Haunted Mansion restaurant. But what I'm saying is Villains Land needs to happen. It needs to happen.
I don't understand how people could not want to go to the parks. The parks are my favorite place.
Oh, I've always wanted to go to the parks. We still have a day.
We still have a day to use at the parks.
When do we need to use that by?
2027.
Okay.
So we've still got till sometime in 2027 to use the park day.
We have a day. Because somebody didn't tell me how bad his toothache was and just kept.
It wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as it got.
Until we got to the parks. We had to leave emergently early after our Halloween day because we had gone to
we went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween night that night.
yes.
And then the next day I had to go to a dentist, and we went to the wrong dentist. And then he was like, "Oh, we could fix that." And then
It's just cash.
Mhm.
Sketch.
Yeah.
So then we went to an actual dentist where they fixed it, but he was so full of infection, his whole face swelled up and he couldn't talk.
And it was Florida. They wouldn't give me real pain medication.
Yeah. So we had to just come home because I was worried he was going to end up in an emergency room in Florida and be stuck in the hospital. And Disney was so amazing that they went ahead and they were like, "Look, we know you're having to cancel this early, but we'll let you keep your day. You can come back anytime until this date to use this day." I thought that was amazing. And
Yes.
I was like,
I kept wanting to get up and go to the park. I kept wanting to get up and I just could not get up. And we had the last day at the resort, and I was just like we didn't go sit by the pool or anything. It was just, I felt so bad because I felt like trash. She should have went and sat by the pool or hung out.
I wasn't going to leave him there and come back to him septic and having to go straight to the emergency room and be stuck in Florida for a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove all the way home, straight shot. We didn't even stop. I think we stopped for food because I was dying, but we
have
literally
nurses in the parks at first aid stations.
Drove straight home so that I could get him, and straight to the hospital when we got home because he was in bad shape. His whole face was swollen. They gave him different antibiotic and a different pain medication.
That actual pain medication actually worked.
Yeah. They had given him Tylenol 3 when we were in Florida. That's not a pain medication. People don't use that anymore.
Mm-mm.
So they gave him Norcos.
And even like when I went to, I think it was Publix to get it filled, they were like,
"Where'd this come from?"
They're looking at me like
Who
I'm
writes for that.
They looked at me like I was like a drug mule or something. Like I'm like I got cotton in my mouth, like blood dripping down the side of my mouth. I'm like,
I could barely talk.
Yeah,
could barely make words. And he was like, "It just hurts."
I'll eat my blue cheese dressing. You go to the theme parks. Deal.
Yeah.
1000% every day.
Deal.
Whew. But I think with that, I want to say thank you all so very much. I had to put something in my face hole before I have another live stream in like a little less than an hour. We love each and every one of you, and it means the world to us that you come by and hang out with us.
It does. I'm still surprised that you all come listen to us ramble.
60 people watching us right now.
That's pretty remarkable. 60 of you want to hear us ramble
across
for
3
an
different
hour.
platforms. So
That's
people watching
pretty
on
awesome.
Facebook, Twitter, and the Tube of Views.
Well, thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you again next Tuesday.
We'll see you next Tuesday. I will see a good amount of you on Saturday. I'll see Bob on Wednesday.
And
tomorrow,
I'll get to see a couple people
on Friday. That's right.
So
you get to meet Stacy and Ken.
I'm excited.
They're so sweet.
Oh, with pickled eggs. Anyway.
We love each and every one of you. Thank you all so much for coming out here, hanging out with us consistently week after week. It does truly mean the world to both of us. Thank you to our members. Thank you for all those who are subscribed. We love all of your faces, and we will see you some sooner than later, but hopefully everybody
next Tuesday.
That's right. And with that,
good night, everybody.
We're out of here.